he's teasing me, yeah? No, okay, if you're Muslim, which one's to ask you about Islam?
I'm not Muslim.
He is a Muslim.
You're not a Muslim.
Bro, he is a Muslim.
Okay.
Alright, this guy is short. Say Muhammad is a child molester, false prophet. That's it. And then we'll believe you.
I can't say that.
Exactly. Thank you very much. You're a Muslim. Go on.
That would be slandering and that would be libel.
Yeah, exactly.
So can you prove
Is he a false prophet?
Say that again?
Is Muhammad a false prophet?
You'd have to prove that.
I'm just asking you.
You don't want to prove it, do you?
Exactly. No. Well, I can prove it very easily. Do you want me to prove it?
Yes, I would.
Of course. Who would make such claims, such as if you have to say Bismillah before you have sex with your wife, otherwise if you don't, Satan is going to touch your children and is going to wrap himself around the penis and stuff like that. You have to say Bismillah when you go to toilet because Satan is going to play with your bowls, you know, not the other two. So he's going to play with that and you're going to have a tough time going to the toilet. You have to say Bismillah for loads of things. These crazy stuff, you know, Satan pisses in your ear, sleeps in your nose, and basically even when you eat, you have to say Bismillah, otherwise Satan is eating with you. And there's an hadith where the guy is eating until the end, he forgot to say Bismillah, and then by the end he said Bismillah, and then Satan throws up.
Do you believe what you said?
The question is, what do you understand from that message?
I'm
not Muslim, but I can understand that message quite well. So I will ask you. One second. I'm addressing him, and then I will address yourself.
What do I understand? I understand that from that message from somebody.
You said you're not Muslim. He said he's not Muslim.
So answer the question. What do you understand?
I understand from that somebody who took advantage of some retarded people around there who are not educated.
That's not the thing on question, is it?
No, hold on. Are you gonna let me finish? Or you ask the question, I can answer you.
I'm asking you the question, so stick to the question.
The question is, there was a mentally ill, sick man who was able to fool people, Muhammad.
Can you prove that he was mentally ill?
Yeah, he wanted to throw himself off the building.
Loads of people want to throw themselves off the building.
No, hold on. He wanted to throw himself off the building. He was mentally ill. He was bewitched by black magic, and he even claimed that apparently two angels came and did a plastic surgery on him. They opened him up, they washed his heart, you know, like a car wash, and then they closed it back up and put him the dish of wisdom. I don't know what dish it was, maybe kebab or something like that. So you're telling me this is from you're telling me this is normal stuff. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
This is a very interesting.
I'm just saying you have to be mentally sick to believe this stuff. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think the only one who believes it is yourself.
No, that's the Muslims believe them.
No. The fact that you believe these stories exist. So.
No, I don't believe them. I believe that Muhammad told people, and Muslims believe these stories are true.
Where?
What do you mean where? From all over the hadith.
Okay. Anyway, serious question.
Exactly.
I want to be, because I want to know where we are. Yeah?
All right.
So.
He is a Muslim, because I know he is.
Okay,
of course he's a Muslim.
Let me just clear things up. When I saw the video, from what I understood is that the guy asked you if you're a Muslim, and you responded by saying, "What makes you think I'm a Muslim?" And then sometime down the line, you then said,
Quick question, just before we continue. Is this going to be on the net?
Sorry?
Is this going to be uploaded? Brilliant. Your channel?
DCCI.
DCCI. Perfect. I do want it to upload. No, I want it to be uploaded, but I want to guarantee that it's going to be uploaded.
Okay.
So go ahead.
It will be uploaded.
Go ahead.
So I just want to clarify where you stand, and because again, as I said, I've seen you said on video that you are Muslim. Now I don't know if you're changing that now, but you said on video you're Muslim, and so I wanted to kind of address some issues in regards to Islam. Now, are you in a position to answer those questions?
No, never have been.
You've never been in a position to answer them. Okay.
Because maybe he's ashamed of being a Muslim because he knows that Islam enslaved black people and it was the invention of actual black slavery in Africa and selling them to Europeans and also further to America. So what that shows is that you are denying to be a Muslim because you're ashamed and you feel disgusted by
let's make it clear. So on this point, did Muhammad have black slaves?
Say that again?
Did Muhammad have black slaves?
Again, I'm not well versed for me to actually answer that. You can tell me if you want.
Well, no, according to, I don't know if you agree with the Sahih Bukhari or some of the hadiths, it speaks about Muhammad possessing black slaves. Okay, so as a man, I'm sure you know your I don't know where you stand. You talk about you're not Muslim. I'm just wondering, you know, on your stance as a black man. I mean, what's your thoughts on the idea that Muhammad had black slaves?
So the question is, right? The question is, what is my stance on Muhammad having black slaves? My stance is that it was the condition and it was the principles at the time. And Muhammad was very different to Jesus Christ, who was not a leader. So Muhammad had to lead a nation. The difference being is that he made it a little bit more of a social justice issue for people to look after slaves better and to free slaves as well. So I would ask you, what is your investment in trying to find out whether or not a black man has qualms as to whether or not Muhammad had slaves?
Which nation did he have to lead?
Okay,
You made a claim.
Let's go back to the point you made. You said at the time, you almost justified it. You said at the time.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Well, can I
Don't put words in my
respond?
mouth. Yeah, you
I
can respond, but don't put words in my mouth.
You almost justified it and said that it was because it all happened in the 7th century. It was okay for him to black slaves.
You did simply justify it.
Can you give us proof that in the 7th century it was okay morally to have black slaves? Explain that to me.
So we had the Roman society, we had the Scandinavian society, we had African societies. All of them had what? Servitude, slavery. So can you give me an example of a civilization within the 7th century that did not have slaves?
I'll do that as soon as you answer the question. Because what you're doing is
I've just answered the question.
Answer the question. What he's done, he's twisted it. What he's done, he said, because the Romans had black slaves, because
We're talking about black slaves, not just any slaves.
Yes.
Romans
Because
had all
somebody-
sorts of slaves.
Yeah.
We're talking specifically
Right.
only black slaves.
Yeah.
The black people being, there was no black part. Even Bilal, after Muhammad died, he went to Ibn Abbas and he kept saying to him, look, if you free me, he was, even until then, Muhammad never freed him. He said, if you took me for the sake of Allah, then free me for the sake of Allah. So, you know, don't waste my time, because Bilal was still a slave until Muhammad died.
Yeah, so I'm still waiting for the answer. I'm waiting for you to justify, okay? Because you've used
He did justify.
what I'll call a red herring, okay? You flipped over somehow to the Romans and to other ancient nations that had black slaves, which justifies Muhammad
I'm very
having black
sorry. I'm
slaves.
very sorry if you can't keep
So
up. But
the
please answer the
question
question
I'm
again.
asking you is, how does it? You've affirmed that Muhammad did have black slaves.
I haven't affirmed it.
Okay.
You've basically
Right,
said
I've
that,
made
and
a
I've
claim.
taken your word for it. So
I've
please
made a-
don't put
I've
words
made
in
a-
my
I've made
mouth.
a claim.
Romans,
okay?
Romans was not a prophet.
And what you've done is you've done. You said because other nations
You keep saying
had
I've done
black
stuff
slaves.
without actually proving it. So
You've just literally came out of your mouth. You said
Yeah.
Romans had black slaves. You said other nations had black slaves. That's what
Right.
you literally said.
okay.
So I'm asking you, how is it? How is it
Because
morally?
there's-
Wait, let me ask
Go
a
on,
question.
go ahead, go
How is
ahead.
it
We
morally
have all the time in the world.
justified for Muhammad to have black slaves simply because someone else chooses to have black slaves? So, if, for example, in 2018, majority of the nations, or most nations, had black slaves, according to your line of reasoning, would it be justified for UK to have a law to have black slaves? Would you say that's the case?
So you're gonna have to keep up. You're gonna have to keep up a little bit. So we're talking about a world back then where the idea of not having slaves was not even there. And I've asked you a simple question: can you prove me a society where there wasn't this type of slavery? You can't.
Why the
You
slavery
can't.
was only black?
Can you wait
That's
for
the
me?
problem. Why was it only black?
That's
Why only blacks were the slaves in Islam?
this is the ignorance. This
Maybe
is
I'm not asking the question.
the
Can you ask the question a bit more clearer? Maybe my English is not good.
Wait, can I ask you, gentlemen, please? I'm not going to jump from yourself to yourself to yourself to yourself.
You don't seem to understand my question.
You're
You're
not
not understanding the
It's not my fault that you can't keep up.
but you-
So I'll
no,
answer
no,
your
maybe
question.
you can't
and I'll answer
comprehend
your
what I'm
question.
saying to you.
So
You're
you said
behind.
you said that it was only black slaves in the Arab slave trade. Yes.
No, don't change the
else.
subject.
You
You change the subject. We can't let him get word out.
Oh.
The question is this: you are justifying slavery, okay?
Am
Muhammad having slaves
Am I?
by saying other nations had it, so it was the norm at the time. Therefore, what's the problem with Muhammad having it?
No.
What? Okay, what the?
Make it simple.
Yes.
Was Muhammad having black slaves right or wrong?
Say that again.
Muhammad having black slaves, was it right
By
or
our
wrong?
current moral principle, it was wrong.
No, then.
Then.
Yeah. By the moral of God, we're talking.
Then the concept didn't even exist.
What the
The moral of
change
God.
then, yeah?
Okay,
The high moral of God.
Three of you, keep up. Listen to this. The
Brother, you
concept.
didn't even answer.
The concept.
You're behind.
The
You don't have to
concept.
keep up.
Guys, listen.
Keep up and you like-
Listen. Foolery in number doesn't mean legitimate arguments. So you need to understand the concept of whether or not a free slave even existed back then. I put the burden on you to prove that. If you cannot prove that there was moral obligation to free slaves, then you have no argument. So where is your moral
What was our
obligation
question?
and where is your
What was
society?
our question?
Oh my God.
You need to keep up.
Ask
What was our question?
What was the question?
What was the question we asked you? I don't think you understand. You're dodging.
The question is,
Yeah, go
was it
on.
right or not for Muhammad to have slaves? I question to you, did the concept of right or not...
Answer the question. Don't
Answer.
answer the question.
Black
Don't
Black
ask a question.
Black
with a
slaves.
Did you want to debate or did you just want to hear,
Answer the
your
question.
critique?
Answer the question.
Did you think
We
you were going to
wanna
get big on YouTube? Did you think you were going to go viral? Not
You
against
need to
me.
go viral, man.
Not against me, sorry.
Answer
So
the
you're
question.
talking about
Because
YouTube.
you're a
I'll answer
coward.
your question.
You're a
You're
coward.
your question.
You're too much of a coward to admit you're a Muslim and you pretend you're not a Muslim.
My friend,
So
my
you're too
friend.
much of a coward.
My friend,
That
my
shows
friend, my
what
friend,
you are. You're
my
a
friend,
coward.
my
You're
friend.
ashamed of yourself
The biggest
to be a
cowards
Muslim.
I see is the intellectually inadequate.
Yeah, sure.
All of you have no balls to go and actually read the religion.
Here,
Read
I've
the
got it.
history.
I've got
Read it,
Sahih
read it,
Bukhari.
read it,
read it.
I've got it.
Go ahead.
Sahih Bukhari and the Quran. Yeah? Can't get better than that.
What's up?
Sahih Bukhari and the Quran. I'm
What are
going to
you
read it.
proving right now?
That Muhammad had black slaves.
Wait, who
and
denied
he
that?
Wait. And he also, and the Quran also says, Arabs are the best people, and black people will go to hell. You justify
Are you
that?
talking about the black stain on the heart?
No, I'm not talking about that.
Because I've
Do you
never heard
justify?
that.
You never
the,
heard
read,
that. But do you
read the
justify
scripture.
it?
Read the
I
scripture.
am going to read it.
Read the scripture.
And are you going to justify it?
Read the scripture.
Let's start. Narrated Umar. I'm going to read 3 before you respond. Yeah?
Go ahead.
I came and behold Allah's messenger was staying on the attic room, which is at the top, and a black slave of Allah's messenger was at the top of his stairs. Yeah? Then he admitted me in. Sahih al-Bukhari, volume 9, book 91, hadith 368. Muhammad had black slaves. I've got other references that he had black slaves, but I'm going to read for you now that
waiting.
Arabs are the best people.
I'm waiting. I want to get to the point
Surah,
where you're talking about the morals.
wait.
No one has denied
Wait.
that the slaves exist. You're just wasting my time.
Sir.
You're trying to avoid it.
Sir,
No, I
trying
just
to
don't want to waste my
jump
time
ship.
with idiots. To be
No.
honest,
don't jump ship.
it's very simple.
You really,
There was one idiot, it was Muhammad, bro.
yeah, you've already tried to
Surah
deceive us by saying you're not
Surah
Muslim.
3.
Continue.
105 to 107.
Right.
So what are you reading now? I was reading Ibn Ishaq. It says, Ibn Ishaq in page 243 says, I heard the apostle saying, whoever wants to see Satan should look at Nabtal. He was a black man with long flowing hair,
Raisin
inflamed
head.
eyes, and dark ruddy cheek.
So basically, on that basis, Muhammad equaled Satan like
black
you and I.
Yeah, to raise
Black
a
man, yeah?
This is the
No,
guy
wait.
he's defended.
Third one. That was the second one. Third one. Do not be like those who become divided and differ after manifest signs and had to come to them, for such is their great punishment. On that day, their faces will turn white and some faces will turn black. As for those whose faces turn black, it will be said, did you disbelieve after your faith? So taste the punishment because of what you used to believe, to disbelieve. 107. But as for those whose faces become white, they shall dwell in Allah's mercy.
You will become a white man.
So wait.
He's
So
gonna
the
become
point
a white
here,
man.
the point here is, Muhammad had black slaves. Muhammad equaled black people to Satan, and then the Quran says black people go to hell, white people go to heaven. Do you justify that? Yes or no?
If I translate this to you, right, are you then going to go and echo chamber this later? Because
I
you
just
clearly
want
do not have, you don't have a translation of the thing.
Stop
Just
walking
answer the
and
question.
Guys,
We read
guys,
Sahih
guys,
Bukhari,
guys.
read Ibn Hisham and the Quran. Can't get better than
I
that.
have more intelligent people that I could go and have this conversation with. I've given you the benefit of the doubt to actually try and address me with conversation.
Intelligent
This guy-
Now, I'm waiting for
Can you
you
give
to
us a
not
quotation?
waste my time. So I'll ask you again, would you like me to translate for you or would you like to just stick to this
Translate
echo
what?
chamber?
Translate
Are you glad to stick to this
We
echo
want to
chamber?
hear your response.
Guys,
Can you
have
respond
a
to our
lovely day.
question?
Have a lovely
Are
day.
you gonna run off or are you gonna
tried?
answer
Are you gonna run off?
Have a lovely day, guys.
It's going to
Running off.
pro-activist, black pro-activist, who says he's here to represent black people, and he's justifying Muhammad having black slaves.
This is ridiculous.
This is embarrassing.
We read the top
Ibn
hadith
Ishaq,
and Ibn
Sahih
Ishaq
Bukhari,
and the Quran.
and
He
now
doesn't want it.
he's running off like a coward.
He's gonna become a white man when he goes to heaven, isn't it?
Are you still denying that you're Muslim? Mr. Black Hat, Mr. Porno Channel,
Yes.
Mr. Porno Channel. Are you so saying?
And then today he said,
Look at him.
Because you said, we've asked you if you're Muslim, you denied that, okay? Even though on camera, you're clearly speaking about being a Muslim, okay? You've admitted you're Muslim. Now we've asked you, now you claim to be a
He's not Muslim, I'm telling you.
He's not Muslim, like the Muslims are denying you right now. But I'm going to take your word for
said
it.
no already.
I'm going to take your word for it. It's on camera.
Why you call him a Muslim?
It's on camera him saying he's a Muslim. He cannot deny it.
He told me he is not Muslim.
Yeah, just because he says it.
Can you show me on camera
you
he
can
is
see
a
it,
Muslim?
yeah, okay.
Can you show it
So,
to me?
the question is this.
Can you show it?
You are now...
You're not Muslim, my friend.
I'm
Just a
not.
minute. He's
You're
admitted it on camera.
You need to stop
He's
lying.
admitted it on camera. Anyway, let's go back to the point.
They're gonna lie anyway.
Let's go back to the point. The point is this.
They're gonna lie.
The question is this. Are you... We've read you several
Good
hadiths.
question. Why
We've read
do you
you
want me to?
tasfirs, and now he's running off again. This guy's a coward.
you don't have it.
He's
That's
a
why
coward.
you don't have the backbone.
Don't pretend to be a Muslim.
You don't have the
I
backbone.
want to
That's
make
what
it
it
clear. I
is.
want to make it clear. I'm not here for anyone's entertainment. I'm here for people who are intellectual. And you,
I'm
sir,
reading-
are not
Stop
intellectual.
lying.
You, sir, are
Stop
not
lying.
intellectual.
I read
And
the
you, sir,
Quran.
are not intellectual. And you do not have
Stop
genuinity in your heart.
You're the most intellectual one
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
wasting my time.
I mean, you know, yeah, okay.
Why are you wasting my time?
Brother, we've read you the
I'm not your
hadiths.
brother, sir.
We've read you the Quran. We've read you the hadiths.
Brother
We've read you the Quran.
You love the slave
And we've
master.
read
That's what you
you
do, man.
the tasfir, okay? And still you're trying to justify black slavery. Imagine you're trying to
To
How
answer
can
that
you
question,
justify that,
we
man?
read the Quran and the hadith.
How can you justify
about
the
black slavery?
You
Can
should
you
be
answer
ashamed
it?
of yourself.
I don't want to
gonna ask
ever
you
hear you
guys. I'm
talking
gonna
about...
ask
And then, and then he's going to talk about you're not intelligent enough.
Yeah,
You're not
yeah, yeah.
intelligent
Is
enough.
that true? Is that what they say? It's not true. Because I don't know yet.
So I'm going to ask every single one of you today, and Moses, I'm glad you're here as well. because you
Answer
can
the
add in on this
question.
conversation as well. You've all claimed that I've supposedly said that the slavery that happened in the Arab world was okay. So I'm going to ask you guys, where's the evidence?
But you just said it.
He said he's a camera. What is this
just
guy
said
talking
it.
about?
Brother, are you...
wait,
Brother, we
You
will
said
see
it. You said it.
That's what I'm saying, man. They're waiting for it. So I'll ask you.
we just read it
I'll
to
wait.
you.
It's a waste of time.
We have just...
Say the words. Say the
We
words.
Wasting time.
Say
have
the words.
just read it to you.
He's a kid. He's
You
a kid.
act as if you
Why
know
you...
yourself.
He's
Why
a
you
kid,
being
man. He's a
mature?
kid. Defending black slavery.
Okay,
Guys,
so...
He just did.
Okay,
And you said it was okay. He said it was okay. This guy said black slavery was okay.
guess what?
Because that was the time then.
I think this
You have to
this
ask
sword
me
now.
why you say that.
I've never
He
said
did.
that.
Brother, were you here? You were even here. He just said it just now.
You said that's going to go on, you know.
You did.
You were here.
You did on camera.
You said
On camera. Yes, you did.
said it, and now
You
you're
did.
lying.
You should be ashamed of yourself, man.
Now you're lying.
You should be ashamed of
Okay,
yourself.
he tried to justify it by
We
saying
gotta take law
in
in
the
our
times, in
hands
those
now.
times,
What law?
Yeah, exactly.
We got
and there were other nations who had black slaves. Therefore,
I got
it is not immoral for Muhammad to have a black
Yeah.
slave. He said the word. Rewind the tape, guys. Rewind the tape.
Rewind and watch it
He
again.
said this. We've read him Sahih.
I know shut up either.
We've read him. We're gonna do it from the Quran.
I read the
And we
Quran.
read him from
Ibn
Tafsir
Ishaq.
as well.
Ibn Ishaq.
Where Muhammad is comparing a black man to Satan. You're supposed to be the pro-black activist.
Who said I was pro-bro?
You are pro. I've seen
Even-
you.
even a
Brother,
black
why
dog-
is he gonna deny everything? He denied being Muslim.
It's quite
He
simple.
denied
No, it's
being
quite
Muslim.
simple. I've
And now
never,
he's denied.
I've never claimed
Okay,
any of these things.
okay,
Let's
so-
just
so-
say, for argument's sake, that I have.
that you are Muslim.
Let's say that I have.
Okay.
Let's just say I am Muslim. Let's just say I am pro-black. I'm gonna ask you guys.
No, answer the
Where?
So
question.
the answer
where-
is Christian then.
Don't
Answer
ask
Christian.
questions. Answer it first, and then you can ask us.
How old are you guys?
It doesn't matter.
I see you
Answer
have
the
a grey
question.
beard. I see you have a bit of grey over there. I see you.
Answer the
Your
question,
head shape's a bit-
justify
your
it,
head shape's a bit
justify
double.
and stop
So I'll
with
ask
them
you-
porn.
I'll ask you again, I'll
Stop
ask you-
with
I'll
the
ask you
porno.
again. I'll
Listen,
ask you.
porno and Islam don't go together.
Yeah, they don't.
Yes? Porn and Islam don't go together. So make up your mind. Are you a porn addict or are you a Muslim? Which one are you? Because right now you deny
so am I the porn
Islam.
addict.
Yes?
It's
So
both.
you have,
Either
so
or
you have
the other.
issues with sexuality as well.
I've got a problem with someone who's claiming to be a Muslim.
We're gonna keep going.
You claim to be a Muslim. We asked you about your religion,
You're a grown man.
but then at the same time you kind of have these double standards.
You are a
Let's
grown
ask other
man.
So-
Words.
Sir?
Let's ask Muslims.
Okay, so which Muslim can answer the question? Because this guy, I don't know.
Any Muslims here? Can you answer?
How can you
Can you answer a question?
expect the truth from a pagan religion?
Amen.
Something was
Forget.
fake. Something was
There's a Muslim there. There's a Muslim there.
a Muslim, a counterfeit religion whereby it's nothing but man-made.
We're gonna ask you.
You know what I mean?
We're talking about the state.
No, but you're crossing the line about you being a Muslim. And
We're gonna read your sources.
If you know what I'm saying, you're counterfeit.
We're gonna read Sahih al-Bukhari, Quran, and Ibn Ishaq.
Okay, read it.
What's that? Are you a Muslim? Are you a Muslim? So where are you walking?
Come in.
Saying to them, no, there is time.
And these guys are good guys. They'll help you out.
Oh, really?
Just read it.
Yeah, but I want to ask you.
I trust
Okay,
these guys.
brother. You gotta come in.
He will destroy you.
Don't get too Just do not get
Okay, now.
Are you a Muslim?
Can I talk to you? Jonathan, go.
Don't run away. But they're going to look after you. They will tell you the truth. But in my head,
Go.
you know what I mean?